multiple calls shortly before 1:30 this afternoon of a grass fire. As soon as units started to respond out into the area, we could see that it was growing pretty quickly. You could see smoke from quite a ways out throughout the city. So we did get multiple units out on scene into this area along the South Tejon area and I-25. Our big concern is this area is pretty heavily populated with a lot of homeless in this area. And unfortunately, they're not listening to what we have to say as far as trying to get them to evacuate. Having a little bit of challenge meeting them while we're trying to fight the fire at the same time. So just created a little bit of challenge because we were really concerned for their safety as the fire's making a run over to that area. But fire grew to just a little over an acre as far as what our estimate is at this time. We've got no structures lost. No individuals were injured in the fire. No firefighters were injured. Right now the fire's contained. We're just kind of putting a wet line around everything, controlling hot spots within the interior of everything, and then just double checking on anybody that's in the general area.
Was there concern today, especially with just the winds that are around, and how did it add to the
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of times people get deceived in the wintertime. They don't think about the fires. They always think it's going to be these June, July, during the summertime. But these are actually a really big concern for us. So yeah, absolutely. And even today, something that's been discussed and things that we're thinking about. It's still a fairly nice day and it doesn't take much. We get the winds going. And obviously this fire traveled very quickly. On us, it's a bunch of light, flashy fuels in this area that's not really maintained alongside the creek bed. So it was certainly a concern for us.
Any idea what caused it?
Not yet. We're still under investigation with it. Like I said, we know the area's got a lot of people around it that are just generally walking around. So we've got a lot of CSPD units that are out here helping us try to, get some information from some of the people in the area.
Yeah. Is there a criminal element? Because I did see police kind of adamantly scouring, looking around for.
So we requested several CSPD units, so our units could go to immediately to fighting the fire, and then we could have CSPD helping us as far as the evacuation side of things. So, and that's something that we train for regularly. We train for that even during our bigger fire training drills that we do on the west side of town. We use CSPD and we lean on them pretty heavily to help us with the evacuation and allowing us to fight fire.
Thank you.
All right.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I think just listening to your officials. When they tell you to evacuate, we really want you to evacuate. We understand it can be stressful for everybody, but really kind of listen to your officials. We want to let people get back into the area as soon as we possibly can, but we got to make sure everything's safe first.
I'll say I've seen multiple fires in this stretch over the last few months, so is there anything that can be done to try to stop them from happening right here?
Well, the only thing really, the fire itself will stop this particular area until we start to get that summer growth again or that spring growth. But as far as mitigation, I really don't have an answer for you as far as how we'd have to mitigate through the creek.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Hopefully you guys all have a great day.
You too. Just started.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, you guys are all just starting your shift?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good to
All right, that was Colorado Springs firefighters on that fire over I-25 and Tejon. Like they said, the cause is still under investigation. They were able to evacuate the people in the area and no structures burned, no injuries. But one thing that stuck out was he's talking about fire danger. So we have 11 meteorologist Josephine Sage here. And like he said, a lot of people think during the winter we don't have fire danger, but that's not the case here in Colorado.
No, it's not the case. And especially after that dry last week, those bushes and the dirt and all that brush out there, still very, very dry. Just that one spark. And here in Colorado Springs, here in the state of Colorado, fire danger is 365 a year. So you always have to be cautious of that.
Absolutely. And I know this week we're expecting a little bit of snow, a little bit of moisture, cold temperatures. But what are we expecting today as far as moisture, but also fire danger?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, our brush is very dry out there. Our relative humidity is not as low as what those qualifications are for a fire weather warning or a red flag warning, but it is still in those 20 and 30 percentiles, which of course is very, very low, very typical for us even during the winter time. So we're going to continue to track that dry air, and any open burning is discouraged even when it's not a red flag warning.
Definitely. That's one thing. Southern Colorado doesn't have a fire season. Fire season is year-round, so you should always be practicing those fire safety behaviors, fire mitigation,
Yes.
and make sure things like this don't
One
happen.
thing about this one today is it is close to a lot of those buildings, like that the fire official just mentioned. But also the good thing about this fire was that it was that white smoke rather than that dark, icky black or brown smoke. So just grass and brush getting burned out there, but still a concern, especially closer to those higher populations.
Absolutely. I know you're going to have more on 11 News at 5:30, and we're going to have more on this as well. 11 News 5:30 for the fire, the latest on the investigation, and of course, make sure you signed up for push alerts, the 11 breaking news and weather apps, where you will be alerted first if we get more information and if conditions change as well. Thank you so much, Josephine. And we'll go ahead and leave you with a live look over at that fire, I-25 and Tejon from our Cheyenne Mountain Cam.